David Nguyen, a man who's built a community of people with the sole purpose of documenting and spreading awareness of his degenerate activities, known for his videos defending Cyraxx and other predators, never-ending stalking sagas, threatening his detractors, and forcing himself onto his drunk friend, questionable intentions with young Vietnamese women, and you could go on and on about this guy, but today we'll take a little look into some of the recent worrisome things this goblin sympathizer has done, including something that could be seen as a death threat. Those who know David, don't forget to comment if I missed anything so others can see the full picture. David, in his over 3 decades of life, has worked maybe 2 confirmed places for a short amount of time. He's very well known for mooching off others for trips, always finding ways of pressuring his friends to pay for his expenses, or even when it gets to the point where people won't buy him shit, he'll resort to credit card fraud. So, knowing all this about David, you'd imagine my surprise when one of the good people in David's subreddit uncovered his LinkedIn profile. You might think at first, well, McGrubba, anyone could have made that, but no, it's so clearly his, with the spastic mannerisms, with his typing habits, and the fact it's over 2 years old. It links right back to his Twisterbolt Twitter page. He spends all day posting instead of working there. It's definitely him. So you'd imagine my surprise reading through his LinkedIn that this lazy man would be so allegedly well accomplished with so many jobs and skills throughout his life. Starting off with debunking one of the funnier things on here, David has allegedly taken 50 college-level courses, which is great because this dude was kicked out of film school for his blatant plagiarism, and I'm assuming how creepy he is. I mean, the one thing I kind of believe on here is the anime and cosplaying course, because this gooner is always dressing up in skimpy outfits and posting anime girls and stuff to Instagram that he's clearly wanking it to. Now, next, to give you an idea of the spastic way this freak types, let's learn some more about David by reading his About Me section on this profile. All high schools and all schools and colleges and universities won't let me go there till learned because my slowness and not so fast, and all schools won't let me choose my college and university that I want to go to, and because of not having a not credit in bad grading in learning school, and a class and a teacher won't let other and all past, present, and future people, students, to redo it. To practice and to get the school work right, and to hand in any work in any time, and no more attendance, like you're fired and you're late, no way Jose, and colleges and universities. I can't read that. I nearly had a stroke there, but you get the idea. I'd say of how all over the place his mind is from this, because he's fully capable of putting full sentences together, but most of the time he's just letting the word vomit out, letting impulses get the best of him, and perving. I'm interested in his professional career though. I mean, wouldn't you be? Let's see what kind of jobs this guy has had. Now, we have here, he spent 14 years and 10 months at Samsung Electronics as an idea inventor director, where he says, I'm an idea guy that directs people to build my inventions that help the people of the world and the universe. And then he was an engineer from 2019 March to June. Then he was president. Then he was also founder in 2012, which I could be wrong, but I think Samsung was founded well before then. He was also, don't forget, he's the director of Google. He was that from January to February. And then he was a waiter at Faux Real, which was for 7 years and 10 months. This is one of the jobs where we actually believe he may have actually attended, but there was no way in hell he was there for 7 years. Then he was a worker at Cobb's Bread, which might actually also be true, but definitely not for the 14 years and 10 months he claims. Then, for 14 years and 10 months again, he was at Twitter, where he was an astrology social media blogger. He said, I started working at home because I stayed back at high school 3 years until I'm 21 and didn't get accepted in college and university, and I don't have a job, and I go on social media to become a social blogger at home for work and not sitting around and do nothing. And there are a lot of things that I can do at home because I can get a job at home than getting a real job in the real world, which this one may be true because he does sit at home all day, and I guess you could call it blogging to Twitter, but it's all useless spam. It makes no sense. Then he was a researcher, then a journalist, then a writer, then a news specialist, all at Twitter. Then he said he worked at Canadian Tire for 8 years as a helper. Then at Zodiac Union, he said, "I make the rules for the world and in the universe." Then, of course, for another 8 years, he was a politician of the Liberal Party of Canada. He was the Minister of Greek and Chinese zodiac signs, which, okay. Then, don't forget, for 4 months he was also an astronaut at NASA, and then for a year a photographer for Instagram. Now, wait a minute, David is in his early 30s, right? So tell me how he could have worked all these jobs full-time at the same time at the dates they're listed at. I mean, I don't think he could have managed that. So assuming he did work all of these but got the dates wrong, let's say that, he'd have roughly around 75 years of work experience, which, wow, just what a productive little guy, fitting 75 years work experience into his 30-some years of existence. It's so silly. Like, I mean, I'd imagine averaging almost 35,000 tweets a year since 2009 would take up enough time to be a full-time job on its own, let alone all the time he spends obsessing over and stalking poor innocent women, recording YouTube videos and stealing others' content and whatnot. It's just so impossible for any of this to be true. The only smidge of truth being the waiter, or maybe his claim to know English and Vietnamese as he grew up translating for his parents, but even then the guy claims to understand and speak 23 other languages besides that. Every corner of this guy's life is just filled with lies and deceit. A big corner of his life this fella seems to waste a plethora of time doing is stealing other clips and music and posting it to his own YouTube channels on YouTube. Then turning around and defending confirmed pedophiles and creeps, perhaps seeing a glimpse of himself in these other pedos or something, who knows. There's a cycle, though, to be followed when it comes to these channels. We see him make either type of channel, it'll be up for a couple days, one of us will come across it, and it'll either immediately be taken down, and he'll also simultaneously deny it was even him, or it'll stay up and it seems like he just won't address its discovery. But with these channels, it's so easy to find if it's him. When it comes to his lip-syncing channels, it'll surely have media or something adjacent to music in the name, along with a mashup of concerts and traffic cams, fading in and out to him dancing and lip-syncing in various get-ups in the corner of his room, with his Christmas lights flashing. A great example of not only that, but also his cross-dressing would be his Kate Chen YouTube channel, where he not only does his cross-dressing, but he duets himself. All the stolen music with stolen clips thrown in. David hates when his cross-dressing is discovered, which in and of itself, I don't really care about. I mean, do what you want in your free time. It's definitely not a crime, but it's the fact he's used this excuse of finding himself to dress inappropriately and end up flashing a young girl and her mom when he surfaced in a lake after scuba diving. So now his cross-dressing just leaves a bad taste in my mouth after that. Now the other kind of content, if you could call it that this fella makes, is his Lolcow defense videos, where he dismisses any proof of these guys being PDF files, claiming trolls made them out to be awful people when in reality they're just mentally ill guys. Well, he's not wrong about them being mentally ill. These people he loves so much are true degenerates who either are genuinely bad people or outright have or would do terrible things to a minor if they had the chance to. A recent discovery made in the past 2 weeks we found, since my last video, we came across Sharp Blade Mike. This channel, fairly obviously created by David, has made 2 posts thus far, one defending Wance Chilkins, the PDF file, and the other Joshua Block, the alcoholic who's been assaulting and biting people out in the wild. Now, as much as I'd like to play clips from these videos for you, I can't, as they contain copyrighted music David the Demon has stolen. It's all the same nonsense. He can hardly form a sentence for the life of him, switching back and forth between points that make no sense and dismissing facts presented about these two, and using an AI voice to try to remain anonymous, but you can't hide the awful grammar and speech patterns this guy has. In the Chance defense video title, you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. He titled it Chance Wilkins, the framing of an innocent, mentally disabled man. Grammar aside, he starts us off with a lie before even getting to the video, though. He added in the description, "Today we cover the horrific story of cyberbullying that I've ever heard about. Today we cover the story of Cyraxx, aka Chance Wilkins, and how he has been falsely framed for such allegations." For one, shut up, David. But for two, the Goblin has definitely earned any perceived cyberbullying after everything he's done, being 100% PDF file with evidence. I mean, even the people who don't necessarily know who David is in the comments section are just in disbelief about this. One user saying, "Please be satire," another hoping he's just trolling, and a third saying buddy trolling isn't cool. The general public seem to know Goblin Boy Wance Chilkins is a pedo, but David just won't have it, probably because he himself sees a little bit of himself in Chansey Poo. The other video is more the regular shit, trying to make a call to action for Congress about Lolcow culture and claiming it's a threat to national cybersecurity. Yeah, no, David, you're incredibly retarded for this one, buddy. Now, a big red flag I have recently for David, which fortunately I believe he talked things through with his therapist already about this, which kudos to him for doing that, was this film he made about his alleged ex-girlfriend Kate, who, by the way, it's some woman he's obsessing over and he never really knew her, but he made some mock film where this girl was brutally torn to pieces and was booted from online forums over it due to how gruesome it was. I'll just read it for you guys, his Reddit post about it. But he's already done this in the past, where he acted out another killing of the girl in a similar mini-movie. He writes, "Am I the jerk for using my ex-girlfriend to propel the story of a new project of mine? So I did some things that my friends are now questioning me and calling me a psycho over it. I was working on a new film and it was a gritty detective crime story film. It was based on a crime thriller from a decade ago that I really liked. In the original film, there was a lady who was taken while jogging in the middle of the night, and then they found her 5 days later in a lake or pond. I wrote the script for this like over a year ago when I was upset over my ex, so I depicted some really gruesome scenes of her off-screen character. I portrayed that she was taken like the original character, but I portrayed it as she was unalived and found scattered in a dozen pieces, like some of the lake and the other by I-65. I finished the film and shared it on Unlisted to a couple of different people, and some people were disturbed by it. I was kicked and booted from a forum over the film as they deemed it inappropriate. I showed my friends and they were incredibly disturbed by it, claiming that it was over-the-top gruesome. I don't know why they made it a big deal over it, as I didn't show anything, rather just talked about it in the film in the detective's narrative. My friends say that what I did counts as me being a psychotic jerk. Am I really the jerk for using a script I wrote over a year ago even though I've gotten over my ex? Then, when confronted about his tendency to make these revenge murder films, he claimed it was his last one and that he wanted to get it out of the way. It's just so weird. It's creepy, really. Other than that, David Wynn, the Demon, has been posting his usual gooner spam of 50 posts a day or more to his Twitter, arguing with people, exposing him in the subreddits and whatnot. To finish us off, though, I have a point I want to make to David specifically. Someone made a post about how essentially David can't run from the surveillance we have on him. 1, he called the OP special needs, which is just hilarious coming from him. But 2, he states that he doesn't believe people who keep tabs on him could possibly be successful, though the Reddit user reminds David they've already shown dojo certifications, etc., proving that they've had a great life outside of keeping track of David the Demon, and even links back to it. They also highlight how much time he spends on his Twitter with his over 100 daily posts. Speaking right to you, David, though, I can attest personally that it's really easy to have a great life outside of keeping tabs on the degeneracies you get up to. It might be unfathomable to you, the idea of success, because you've been too busy gooning and stalking women, but it's true. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm over a decade younger than you. Freshly turned 21 last month, share 50-50 an apartment with my best friend, have a decent job that pays pretty well. I'm enrolled in college majoring in computer science and taking those classes online. I own my vehicle outright. I have a girlfriend. I maintain a decent social life. I go to the gym nearly every other day, and on top of that, I'm making videos like these on you. Literally accomplishing more than you do every day than you have in your whole life. I'm telling you, David, your detractors are much more successful than you are. I think I got all I needed for now off my chest, but if you guys made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it, so you can see more on this fella. Later, grubbas.